Hi and welcome to Shadowboxruk UK. My name is Jackie Lee Price. Today's guest is a former two-time Olympian. She is the current WBO middleweight champion of the world, Savannah Marshall. Oh, look at your little face.
Oh, someone Egyptian now.
Well, listen, I've got to give the big up. How are you?
I'm good, yeah. I'm very well.
Nice to see your face. So firstly, congratulations on the Linberg fight. Ooh, class. You're becoming such a class act, honestly.
Do you know what it was? With that, I was just at that point where obviously my original opponent pulled out a week before. So I was thinking, who are they good? They're not going to get anyone. Do you know, it's the pool's dead shallow at them higher weight. So I thought she pulled out on the Saturday due to COVID issues, and I thought I'm not gonna get an opponent. I'm not gonna get an opponent. Anyway, they've got Maria on the Monday, and to be fair, decent record.
Yeah,
She boxed some good girls. The age thing was a bit against her, but if you look at all the top girls in the pros for the women, they're all late 30s. Touching on that 40 mark. So it's, I think for the women must peak a lot later than the men.
Yeah.
But like I said, I was just glad to get out there and get the win.
Yeah, I think firstly, let's talk about her age because, she was 44 and a lot of people criticise that, but you can only, like you said, fight who you can fight. And she has challenged 4 times for a world title before, hasn't she?
Yeah, so she boxed Christina Hammer twice.
Yeah.
And that wasn't that long ago. I think it was about 4 years ago. And she recently just boxed Emma Cozen, who's I think she's got the IBO middleweight world title. She's 20-0. So, and Maria won that fight. Maria did win that fight, but it was in Emma's home city, so she didn't get the decision. So yeah, she's, like I said, she's been in with some good girls, and she's got the experience. She said to me after the fight, she come up and said, in my whole 23 years of boxing, I've never been dropped.
Yeah.
And I thought, God, all the people you must have sparred, boxed, the experience you've gotten. So yeah, she did take it at a week's notice. But look, if it wasn't for people like that, some shows would never go ahead. So fair play to Maria.
Totally. Yeah. You could see the camaraderie afterwards, and it reminded me of kind of amateur days where it's like we'll bash each other up, and then we'll have a hug after.
Yeah. I think I caught her with a body shot in the second round. Kind of head or wince. And I think when you know. And I thought, right, I've got you here. And then that's when it kind of because I don't actually like hurting people. So
really,
that's when it becomes a little bit like, right, yeah, it's just a sport. But on that first bell, I'm like, right, where's she at? And then once you realise it's just a sport, then kind of the sportsmanship comes into it.
Do you know what? It was beautiful, the first round, with that long, lazy, gorgeous jab, because I think people underestimate how hard you hit. And I guess also, I think sometimes because you are so relaxed, it probably looks like to the untrained eye that you don't hit very hard. And the first round, it was lovely because you just had to feel out, and then the second round, I heard your corner say, just put a little bit of meat on it, and then all of a sudden, just a tiny, I still don't think you got out of first gear, but there was just some extra meat, as Peter, isn't it, said? Yeah.
Well, that's what he says. He says that if you go out there and show them all you've got the first round, that'll be it. It was the same with Hannah. I remember him saying, she'll be there all night if you stick it on her from the first round. He went, you've got to build it up, because then they think, she doesn't hit hard. I can weather this.
Yeah, yeah.
All of a sudden, you plant your feet and, you know, the power comes and the least expecting it. So I'm learning.
Hey, it's looking good. And talking about, you know, planting your feet, when you are moving around, it's so graceful and it's almost quite unorthodox sometimes when you're crossing the feet and stuff like that. And so again, I think that people probably think, no, there's nothing behind those shots. And then all of a sudden it's like, actually there is.
Yeah, well, you've known me since I was about, what, 15?
Yeah.
And I was always taught hands up around your head.
Yeah.
Never never bring your feet together. But the way Peter teaches, it's kind of, you're moving in motion.
Oh,
so
it's beautiful.
your feet actually never come together, because when your front foot comes to the back foot, that's already moving.
Yeah.
And the way he has you moving your body, you're like riding shots. And I always think, I know Peter never wasn't training Tyson at the time, but when he boxed Wilder, if he wasn't in motion and he'd have caught that shot square on the chin, he probably would have never have got up. But because he was riding it, it took a lot of the sting out.
It is. I can't begin to tell you, right, how amazing it is to see your progression under the tutelage of Peter. It seems to be, you know, a match made in heaven. And especially because I guess people thought when you came back to the UK, having been signed by Mayweather, that it was a mistake. Would you agree?
Oh, yeah, 100%. 100%. But even myself, I thought, the money team, this is it. Fast cars.
Oh, no!
Yeah, I thought, honestly, when I went over there, I thought, this is it. I remember sat on the plane saying, this is me, I'm set for life.
I bet you was practicing your...
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But no, I think Peter, I trust Peter so much. And it has been a progress, because I've told a story before about when he first had me on the pads and he told me to drop my hands, and I remember thinking, I'm going to get knocked out here. This isn't going to work. But now I'm at the point where I don't even question what he says. I just, everything that comes out of his mouth, I just trust him, trust his word, and I know that it's for the best, and it's going to work.
Yeah. I think what is amazing about that is after all this time, you know, your success hasn't gone to your head and you are still listening to your coach, because that doesn't always happen, does it?
Oh yeah. We Peter's quite deep, and we have the conversations and stuff, and I'd even said before, I don't know how it would come about, but I'd just said, Peter, even if we'd ever fell out, I think I'd just go back to Hartlepool and train myself, because the amount of time and effort it takes to get that bond with a coach, it doesn't happen overnight. Even now, it's still a work in progress. Like, I just remember thinking, God, I couldn't be bothered to put all that time and effort and, you know, trust someone for it not to work. So yeah, I think Peter's for life.
Peter's stuck with you,
Yeah,
regardless.
With me, yeah.
So listen, I'm going to talk briefly about the fight that everybody wants to see happen, the fight between you and Karissa Shields. Now, I think it was this week or last week, Eddie Hearn was quoted as saying that Karissa Shields doesn't have the same box office draw as, let's say, other female fighters that have fought recently. And for that reason, he is not going to be giving the purse that Karissa is asking for. I mean, does that feel like a little bit of a kick in the teeth, where you two are, you know, former Olympians, you've done great things in the amateurs, and now you're doing great things in the pros? Do you find it a little bit unfair that other people are coming in and nicking the bag?
It does, yeah, but it's the way it is. I mean, we've just had a conversation there. If, you know, you don't take the money, you don't fight. So it's one of them where you've just got to crack on and keep believing and keep dreaming for them, for the pay to kind of level up to the men's.
Yeah. And then in terms of other avenues for you, because obviously if this doesn't happen, if he's not, I think she asked for 2 million quid or something like that. So if he stop laughing. Hey, if you don't ask, you don't get.
Exactly. And to be honest, I'm all for it. Honestly, I'm like, Karissa keeps shouting, because if she's getting 2 million,
Exactly. But if that doesn't happen, like in the rest of, we've got 6 months of 2021, so it doesn't look like it's going to happen this year. What other avenues can you take? Would you go up and fight, say, like well, first of all, would you fight in the super middleweight? And if you did, there's Fanshawe Cruz-Dezern, Hannah Gabriels, who has boxed at several different weights, which would be, she's actually quite decent.
She is really decent. Me and Peter were only having a conversation with her this week, actually. And thing is, with Hannah, that is also a big money fight, because Hannah gets those views. I mean, she's sold out stadiums. She's a big thing in Costa Rica.
Yes, she is.
She's sold out stadiums in Costa Rica, and I thought she'd box Cecilia Brackhouse, but she hasn't. I think it was a fight with, is it Callie Reese?
Yes, she fought Callie. Yeah.
Yeah, I think their fight together pulled in a couple of 100,000 views.
Yeah. Well, Callie's very popular as well, to be honest.
Yeah,
she's very, very popular. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair as well, not only is she a big pull, she can actually box. That girl can box.
I think this is one thing Peter said. He said, Peter says that there's a handful of girls that can actually, have got all the skills, and he said she's one of them.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, she actually came in as a kind of a guest. Well, I was going to say came in. She bulldozed her way into one of my lives.
Oh, did she? Yeah, so, she's I know she had a world title at super welter, and I don't, from what I've read, I think, did she get injured or something, and now she moved up to light heavy.
She's fought at heavyweight as well. And I don't know again if that's just taking that opportunity and then she's going to gradually bring herself down. I was on a live with Callie, and basically she was saying she couldn't get a fight.
Oh, really? Oh, there we go.
Just
yeah.
That'd be good.
I can do light heavy.
I'll tell you what.
Exactly.
Oh, that'd be good. So I'll leave that there. I'll let you get on with organising that.
Yeah.
It'd be good to see you, in with somebody like that, and like you say, getting the views. It would be really, it would be good.
There is those big fights. So obviously Hannah's been mentioned because she has got the heavyweight belts now, and also the super middles. Well, to be fair, I'm boxing in July, and originally I was hoping for one of the super middles, either Fanshawe or a Lynn from Sweden, but they're fighting each other in June, so that cancels both of them out. But that fight will be, I can't actually even call that, because Lynn's got the skills and Fanshawe has just got, the grit and the brutality, and she just doesn't stop.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing that fight between you and Fanshawe, because she's a big hit in the States. You're a big hit here, so it's another avenue. I should be your matchmaker.
Yeah, you should. Yeah, it's a really good fight with Fanshawe. I think our styles suit really suit. So she's unifying with Lynn the Swede on June the 12th. I think we're on the Lopez undercard.
Yeah.
Telfino, whatever. They're on that undercard. So, there's another fight down the line. Go from middle, super middle, light, heavy.
I tell you what'd be nice though, if you could get the winner out of those two before the end of the year.
Yeah, it would be.
Let's get you out before the end of the year.
Yeah.
I'll take my 10%. One thing I am just so happy about, that mentally you seem to be such a different person. I feel like you believe in yourself so much more now, and that is now matching your skill set, because you've always had the skill set, and we can all see that, like, hold up, this girl is amazing. And you know, we see other people that don't have your skill set that have an abundance of mental strength. But I'm so glad to see it. There was no question in there. Absolutely no question. It's just something that is an absolute pleasure to see. So Natasha, Jonas, Katie Taylor tonight. Wow, so much expectation on these two fighters because they met in the 2012 Olympics. Firstly, strengths of both fighters.
I think with Tash is very smart, slick southpaw. I think she surprised a lot of people with Terry. I remember before the Terry fight, Tash got writ off bad. And I remember doing a tweet and saying, you know, if the best Natasha Jonas turns up, it'd be a hard night work for Terry. And to be honest, I do generally believe, to be fair, I've known Tash a long time, so maybe I'm a bit biased, but I do believe that Tash just nicked that fight.
I agree.
And I think because of her whole story, and like I said, I know her personally, she's got a little girl. I just remember thinking, oh, well, do you know that it's unfair? Do you know, especially, she's not over the hill, but I was saying, you know, a lot of the women don't really peak, you know, to the late 30s. I think Tash is 37.
I thought she was 38.
38.
Sorry, Tash, if I've aged you up.
Yeah. But you kind of thinking, wow, is this our last roll of the dice?
Yes.
But like I said, for me, if you give Tash a room, she'll just pick your pocket all night. She'll just pick them shots, move, catch you coming in. So for me, to beat Tash, you've got to stick it on her and punches in bunches, abundance of shots. And that is what Katie does very well. So on paper, I think, to be fair, I think Katie might stop her. But like I said, Tash is very smart, and Tash knows Katie's strengths. Yeah. So I don't think that fight will actually go that way. Yeah. So I think it'll be a lot closer than what it's meant to be on paper.
I think the interesting thing is, like you said, I think people started to underestimate Natasha. She had one bad night. We know it happens, and yet people wrote her completely off, which I thought was really unfair. But, you know, she got to, you know, metaphorically stick two fingers up at everybody that doubted her when she fought Terry Harper. I have to say, I think that she won the Terry Harper fight as well. Again, I feel like, yes, like you're saying, sometimes when it's hard not to be biased, it's really hard. I'd like to think, because I'm a judge as well, that, you know, turning down the television and watching it as a judge, that's how I felt as well. But yeah, I think it's a really, really tough fight between the two of them. One thing I will say is, you know, there's so much expectation on them both because of this fight in 2012. How do you think that that's going to be playing on them mentally? You know, you've been to the Olympics. You're also now a pro. You know better than anyone what that feels like.
I think the pressure will be more on Katie, because obviously Katie won. And a lot of people were saying she didn't. A lot of people thought Tash won that fight, and it was close. So I think if the pressure's on anyone, it would be Katie, because maybe, you know, you have them little doubts, don't you? Or, you know, I'm a better than what I was now. And of course she is, but I think it'd be Katie that'd be feeling the heat a little bit more. Whereas Tash, I think she's got nothing to lose. It's a last chance saloon. I seen an interview she'd done, and she said, "I want to be world champion, but now I could have a chance of getting all the belts in one go."
Can you imagine?
I was in the gym this morning, and I was thinking about the fight, and I thought, do you know, if Tash wins this, obviously she you know, she's got all the skill to, but God, she's just, it'd be like she just floats. She won't walk anymore. She'd just be, you know, a goddess.
It would be a story as well. I mean, don't get me wrong, I really like Katie Taylor as well, but you know, I'm gonna have to say I'm backing Tasha. You know, you want a good ending, but I totally respect and like Katie Taylor. And one thing I will say there is, in fact, she's always had that pressure, fast hands. The work rate is high, and I still think she has that, to be honest with you. And that's the thing that I think is the most, not difficult, but the thing that has won her the last few professional fights. So Peter Taylor is saying, I'm going to have to paraphrase because I can't find the tweet now. He thinks that Katie beats Tasha easily, and Joe Gallagher thinks that Taylor has had some tough fights, and he's not the only one I've heard say that, and she's on the decline. Fact or fiction?
Joe's phrase, I think yes. I think she has had some tough fights, but she lives the life. You see on her Instagram, I don't think she does anything else apart from boxing. So it's not like she's going out smoking, having a good time. So I don't think it's affected her that much. Pete's phrase, like I said, I don't think it's an easy fight for Katie. I think the way she fights on paper, like I said, I think on paper Katie stops Tash.
Yeah.
But Tash is not daft.
Yeah.
And Tash knows Katie's strengths, and same with the Terry. I know Katie's a totally different kettle of fish than Terry. But yeah, like I said, it's an exciting one. And same as the Terry Harper fight, you can't just say the champion's going to win, because as Tash says, you say I can't and I'll find a way to win.
It's true. Both different fighters now, completely different fighters. I do think, you know, the two hard fights against Pursoon may have had an effect. We will see tonight. Just quickly before I let you go, so the trip to Barcelona with April. Wow. So firstly, you know, amazing that she won her third. It was a third professional fight, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Yes. What did you girlies get up to? Because it looked like a girls' weekend as well.
So, like, I've known April a couple of years now, and she's from Newcastle, like northeast, but she's moved to Liverpool, so she's near me.
Yeah.
And honestly, what a girl!
Funny.
I've got a lot of time, and do you know what? When it comes out, she has got a story.
Yeah.
Honestly, when she tells her story, obviously it's not for me to tell, but honestly, her profile is gonna go, because in pro boxing, you know, Jackie, you can't just be a good boxer.
Yeah.
You need that story, or you need that look, or that whatever. It's like a full package. But so she asked me to go with her, and I thought, oh, she probably wants me to go as, you know, a bit of a chaperone, so she's not like a female friend, so she's not with the fellas all the time. And then she was like, oh, my coach Joe McNally's not coming because Beefy's boxing in Russia.
Yeah.
So I thought, well, I hope I was like, April, you know, I can't do cuts, and because she asked me to hand up.
Yeah.
And being in Spain, you'll think, oh well, you know, that they're not bothered about coaching.
I was going to say
badges
whether
out
you've
like
got the
that.
card or not.
They're not, well, she didn't even, like, I was like, well, I thought, what she want me? Anyway, she said, oh, one of her other, a rolled amateur coach from Newcastle was coming, but it was just like, honestly, we just had the absolute rip. It was a laugh, absolute laugh, and it was a great experience for her, in fair play, because if I got asked to go, I don't know, Spain myself, and Peter said he couldn't come, I'd be, oh, I'm not going without my coach.
Yeah.
But no, not April. She just wants to fight. And it was a good trip.
I'm sure there'll be some secrets you can tell me off camera.
I'm sure she'd tell you, but honestly, I think she's obviously when a story comes out, you think, wow.
Lastly, what does your head say for tonight with regard to the Jonas Taylor fight, and what does your heart say?
So honestly, my head says Katie, but my heart says Tash. Like I said, I've been thinking about it all morning. Natasha Jonas, undisputed world champion. I wanted to do it but it's because we know her personally. Yeah. I'm sure I'd be if I knew Katie personally, I'm sure I'd be saying, I hope she beat her. But it just gives that little bit of a touch when you know them in that way.
Absolutely. Well, listen, Savannah, always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. It's been a pleasure watching you over the last year or so, beating people up as well. Keep doing what you're doing.
Thanks. Thank you.